All right, thank you all for attending our webinar today. We are talking about how to work with transit service disruptions and how to mitigate the effects that has on in-person office work. So I want to run through our agenda real quick. First off, I'm going to go over a quick introduction to GoDCGo, who we are and what we do. And I'm going to jump into some current updates on the WMATA delays and also some really interesting data that just came out of a Greater Washington Partnership survey on transportation and commuting in the region that I think you'll all be interested in. And I'm going to talk about the recent updates to Capital Bike Share and the ongoing promotion in response to the WMATA delays. I'm going to discuss flexible office policies and how they can mitigate transit delays, and also how to implement guaranteed ride home programs, which can also assist with the mitigation of delays. So let's jump right in. I'm going to be a little quick with this slide because I know many of you are already familiar with what we do, but GoDCGo is an initiative of the District Department of Transportation. We promote sustainable transportation options throughout the district in a variety of ways. In my own capacity, I work with employers to promote the use of sustainable transportation options, whether in terms of commuting or transportation related to the workplace. And I should add, because I just realized I forgot to introduce myself, my name is William Feeney, and I am the Employer Services Manager at GoDCGo. So as currently stands, this is where WMATA is. This information comes from a service update from yesterday, October 28th. So this is our most up-to-date information. So metro delays are expected to continue through mid-November. November 15th was the estimated date, I believe. WMATA is working up to getting 50 trains in service, up from the current number of 31. In response to that goal, construction has been temporarily halted at the Shady Grove and Rockville stations with the goal of getting more trains in service. And the current goal, once more trains are in service, is to reduce wait times to 12 to 15 minutes on the red line and 20 to 30 minutes on the green and yellow lines. And I also want to note that they did say that in the downtown core area, that being the sort of central business district area, regardless of the line, whether it's green, yellow, red, whatever, the goal is to have significantly reduced wait times in between trains. And I also wanted to include a link. DCist had a really good article summarizing the updates, so that is linked there as well. Now, I also want to jump into some of the survey results that come from the Greater Washington Partnership. They've been doing a quarterly survey of large employers regarding COVID, return to work, and regional transportation. And they just released their latest iteration of their survey in October. So this is pretty recent data. So a couple of things I want to highlight here. Over the next 12 months, 52% of employers are expecting the amount of telework to remain about the same. And about the same number of respondents said that their organization is willing to hire employees that primarily or completely are working remotely. So I think this just confirms what we've all been assuming, that telework and remote work would continue to be a ongoing fixture of the workplace going forward. And related to that, this infographic here relates to the percentage of employees expected to be on site during a typical workday over the next year or so. You can see right now, 47% are expected to be on site during a typical workday. And in summer 2022, that number is only 68%. So that really just confirms the assumption about the ongoing importance of telework. Now, what I'm really interested in is their commute statistics. So they note that about 60% of employers are expecting an increase in the number of employees commuting by private car. And that's a concern because that could lead to both congestion issues in terms of traffic and also pretty significant parking management issues if historically your workplace has had a large number of people commuting via metro rail, via bus, or other transportation options. And I do want to sort of link this to open enrollment, which is ongoing. I think open enrollment is a great time to think about commuter benefits, right? Because that's part of the complete benefits picture. It's not just about health benefits. It's also your commuter benefits are also part of that portfolio, if you will. So to that end, I do want to emphasize that the WMATA delays, they are temporary, and they are WMATA is working to resolve them, if not completely, then to significantly improve the current state of affairs by mid-November. And as I just mentioned, with the Greater Washington Partnership data about the significant increase in intent to drive alone to work, we really do want to make sure that we're promoting smart benefits and the use of WMATA to mitigate the impact of the issues that that increase in driving alone could cause. So I'd encourage all of you to be sure that despite the current delays, that you are promoting your pre-tax benefits program or subsidized transportation benefits program through Smart Benefits or whichever vendor you use, so that you're ready when Metro returns to normal and more people start commuting to the workplace again. And like I mentioned, open enrollment is a really good time to promote your commuter benefits program because people are already thinking about the benefits that they have. And I do want to mention that we do have a significant number of preloaded SmartTrip cards that we have available to employers. So if you are looking to improve your commuter benefits program, I would encourage you to schedule a meeting with GoDCGo, and we can get you some free preloaded SmartTrip cards for your employees. And I'll have my contact info at the end of this presentation if you're interested in scheduling a meeting for that. All right, let's jump into some of the ways to mitigate the impacts of transit delays. So first, I want to talk about Capital Bike Share. As many of you may have seen, there is a promotion that started this past Monday, October 25th, where DC residents would have the ability to sign up for one free 30-day Capital Bike Share membership. I want to include some details about that. The membership is 30 days non-renewing, so you don't have to worry about accidentally signing up for something that you didn't mean to and getting billed or anything like that. Within this 30-day membership, classic bikes are free to use for 45 minutes. Classic bikes are the red bike in that picture on the bottom right. And e-bikes are charged at 10 cents per minute. That's a 33% discount from the current rate. And there's no unlock fee. The unlock fee is waived for the free 30-day membership. This promotion is available through November 19th. If WMATA, if the delays are not remedied or significantly improved by November 15th, there is a good chance this promotion will be extended, but as it currently stands, it is only available through November 19th. So that's the last date you can sign up for this promotion. And to sign up for it, you just go to capitalbikeshare.com. You select the join button, which you would for any membership. And there's a button underneath join and save that I've screenshotted here that says select $0 for 30 days. And I do want to, there are a couple of details I want to talk about Capital Bike Share in general. I think that frequent users of the Capital Bike Share network would note that often in the morning commute, it can be difficult to get a Capital Bike Share bike, especially if you're coming from north to south. But I do want to highlight that if I want to highlight the sort of utility of capital bike share for one-way commuting. And what I mean by that is, let's say in the morning you are planning to take the bus to work, or you've looked up the precise metro timetable and you're going to take the metro early to work, but you are getting dinner with a friend, at DuPont Circle after work, and you don't want to have to figure out a different bus to take there. This is a screenshot of the Capital Bike Share availability map, which is available on their website at 4 p.m. on October 26th. And what you can see here, the green circles mean that the bike share dock at that location is at near or full capacity. So downtown in the central business district, there's an incredible availability of bikes after the initial morning commute period. So it's a fantastic option for commuting, whether that's during the workday or commuting from. Could I just ask all participants to please mute their microphones? All right. So continuing here, I just want to note that that there's a really great potential to use bike share for one-way commuting. And there are other capital bike share promotions that you may have heard about from earlier this year that are still in effect. In August, WMATA launched a partnership with Cabby to offer 10 free 45-minute classic rides to anyone who either created or switched to a virtual Smart Trip card. Existing Capital Bike Share members are eligible for this, and as our new members, all you have to do is activate an online Smart Trip account. So that's another great promotion that is still in effect. And if your employees are really into the free 30-day membership or the WMATA partnership, you should consider the Capital Bike Share corporate program, which I want to mention a couple of details about here. It offers a significantly discounted membership, both in terms of cost for the organization and for the employees. Organizations have the option to decide if they want to pay a partial subsidy, which is $25, or the full subsidy of $50 for the membership. And the full membership fee is $35 cheaper than a normal Capital Bike Share yearly membership. All classic bike rides under 45 minutes are free, and e-bikes are charged at 15 cents per minute. So that's the Capital Bike Share corporate program. I'd encourage you to check it out. All right, now the sort of second part here, I really want to talk about how to create a flexible workplace that can respond to delays or transit disruptions. So as shown by that Greater Washington Partnership data I was talking about at the start, hybrid work is really the new standard going forward, right? Many employers envision working a set number of days in the office and the rest remotely, Monday and Tuesday in the office, Wednesday to Friday at home. But what if there's a transit disruption on a day that you're scheduled to work in person, especially if that delay happens on a Monday morning when you might not have time to get in touch with your supervisor during the workday and tell them that you're going to work remotely because of the delay. That's where the importance of flexible telework arrangements really comes in. So I'd encourage all of you to integrate flexibility into existing telework programs by clarifying in that policy that you do allow telework in the event of transportation delays. And this isn't just something you should do because of the current WMATA delays, but also in the winter, if there's a snowstorm or a flooding event, or there's all these different reasons that could cause transportation delays. And it really does help if you're telling your employees, like, look, if there's going to be a significant delay, you can telework. It's sort of like an on-off switch. You can just switch it on and use the option that works best for you. I think giving that flexibility to employees is really key to retention. It really shows employees that you trust them to make the right decision that's going to make their lives, their commutes easiest. And one other way to sort of address this is by creating a formal flex time policy. There's a variety of ways to do this. Typically, that's going to be clarifying that there's flexibility around the hours of the workday. It's not just 9 to 5 every day. If it needs to be 8 to 4, or if it needs to be, an hour taken off in the middle of the day. Clarifying that that's something that employees can do and putting the mechanisms in place to easily access that flex time can really help mitigate transit delays. If you know that WMATA is going to be delayed in the evening, you could leave work 2 hours early and beat those delays. So that's something that can really help mitigate that. I also want to talk about the importance of on-demand transit information, because an important way to avoid delays is to know when they're going to happen. So to that end, I want to talk about a couple different technologies that can assist with that. The first one is Incentrip. It's an app developed by Commuter Connections, which is an initiative of the Metro Washington Council of Governments. It is a free app available on all mobile devices, and it combines real-time transportation information with cash incentives that promote sustainable transportation. Points are earned for taking sustainable transportation options, essentially anything that's not driving to work alone. And those points can be converted into cash rewards up to $600 per year. And the reason I think this is such a useful app for getting around delays is because it's updated with real-time data. So it'll show you if there's a traffic jam. It'll show you if the bus is running late, things like that. So to have that information right at your fingertips, as well as those cash rewards, can be pretty useful. I also want to highlight the utility of having real-time transit information displayed prominently in your lobby or in your office. So there are several companies that sell monitors that are equipped with connected with transit and transportation information. One that is pretty commonly used is Transit Screen. That's an example of it in the photo there. You can see it includes information about rideshare, about bike share, about the bus system, the metro, as well as updates from Twitter regarding transportation updates. So that's a really useful feature. You can also configure a regular computer or TV monitor to display information. A apartment complex that GoDCGO recently visited to distribute some transportation materials has set up a TV monitor in their lobby, which displayed the metro map and could be switched over to displaying the metro timetable. So even if you don't want to make an investment into this comprehensive display system, you can also set something up on your own. That's fairly easy to do. And lastly, I want to talk about guaranteed ride home programs and how they can add a sense of security when there's a risk of transportation or transit delays. So a guaranteed ride home program provides a car trip when transit riders or bicyclists or carpoolers have a transportation issue. They provide a sense of security, like I mentioned. And there's a couple different programs that can do this. Commuter Connections runs a regional program that is free to use. It's also easy to set up your own in-house program. And I want to go over the differences between Commuter Connections, their own program, and what it could look like if you create your own. So with Commuter Connections, you just go to their website and sign up. It can be used up to 4 times a year. And I should also note it can be used once before you sign up. So if you really need to access the program, but you haven't signed up yet, you can do that once and then you do have to sign up. You contact commuter connections either by calling them or emailing them to log your request. And there is criteria for eligibility that they evaluate, and then they schedule the ride. So it's not necessarily a super on-demand program, but it is very reliable, especially if you know that you're going to need a ride later on in the day. Now, the benefits of creating your own program, you can really decide what the criteria is, and there's a lot of flexibility. It can be run through your existing expense reporting procedures. You can establish your own criteria, like you can say, oh, if there's a transit delay of over 45 minutes, for instance, then you can bill a ride. And I should note that the Commuter Connections program does not include transit delays as one of the eligible criteria. Of course, if you create your own, you determine who is eligible and how many times they can expense a ride. It could be once a year, it could be 10 times a year. And you can advertise your own program internally and make sure that all of your employees know about it. And in a second, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can launch a poll. But I just want to really quick put my information up on the screen. Of course, this will also be in the information that goes out after the webinar. But if you'd like to get in touch to schedule a meeting or to request any sort of transportation or commuter assistance, my email is william.feeney@godcgo.com. And I'm just going to stop sharing my screen real quick so I can launch a poll. And then I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.